Hello, this is Gene and Kyle. We're here to talk about the new Cloverfield movie. Not this one. Not this one, of course, but the new one that came out, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Before we go further on into this review, there's going to be major spoilers because I can't really talk about the movie without revealing things. So if you don't want to know anything about it, go watch the movie, or if you want to listen, that's fine. I knew a little bit before coming in that I knew that it wouldn't be tied 100% to the first movie, but that's about what I knew about it. I did watch a couple of reviews of the movie from Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns. While I agree with their overall assessment of the movie, I didn't like it as much as they did. Let me start off to do a summary of what happened in the movie. The movie opens up in the we don't know yet, but the heroine in the movie apparently had a breakup going on with her ex or husband. We don't really know if she was married, but apparently they were together. So she decides to leave, and we'll find out throughout the movie that this is something that she did all the time. That she would leave anything. She would not stand up to stuff, and which is strange because as we get further in the movie, she always stood up. So I don't know what they were trying to say in the beginning of the movie, but it dovetails with the end of the movie. And I guess she went through all this while she was captive in the bunker. Now, those who've seen the trailer, it shows John Goodman, who was great in this movie. As far as the actors, he was the pick of the cop or whatever. He was the best one there. The other two actors, the heroine, as she was acceptable, and the other guy, he was just there for. There's reasons why she's there, but it could have been anybody, but had to be somebody like a guy like him, a younger guy. So basically, she's running away from whatever problem she has, and you see something in the beginning of the movie where she fills up, and there's a truck that comes up. Now you don't see John Goodman there, but I knew at the very beginning that's probably his truck, and we find out later on that he pushes her over the highway and abducts her. Now we don't know why he did it that way. We find out there are other reasons why he does it. We find out that something did happen, and the big reveal is at the end what actually happened. So what the movie is good at is that it makes you sometimes thinking that John Goodman is a good guy, maybe eccentric, but a good guy, but it changes throughout the movie. So that was the on the pro side of the movie. The rest of the movie is formulaic at best, and it's unfortunate that this movie is really no different than several other movies that had all. At the end of the movie, she is basically the final girl. In any horror movie, she is the final girl, and apparently she has. I'm not going to call her a Mary Sue because she is, but in this movie, apparently she is that way. And the other guy in the movie is just there, and his demise is when he white knights for her. Even though she came up with the plan to leave, he said it was his own plan, and he ends up getting killed because of that. So, of course, there's a whole scene where she's crying about it and seeing it, looking at her, the wallet of his wallet, and apparently that really upset her. She didn't cry at all when she left her husband, boyfriend, whatever it was in the beginning. So, and there's other parts in the movie where she talks about that she'd seen things in her life, and she didn't ever stand up for it. So I guess that's what this movie is trying to get across, that she's going to get through all this, and now she's going to stand up. Now, to the point till she actually get out of the movie, out of where she's at, when she defeats the bad guy or the big boss at the end of a game or something, there was something that can be under the Cloverfield universe, although we don't really know, but apparently the Earth is being taken over by aliens. And after what I'd known about before, it looked like this movie was already being made. And then J.J. Abrams found out about it, saw a screening of it, and wanted to put Cloverfield onto this thing. And to me, the last 15 minutes was added on. And it took away from a very small, claustrophobic kind of movie. Whether it was formulaic or not, it still was tense, and there was some dread going on there. But when she went outside, it kind of changed all that, and she ended up being like, I don't even. It reminds me of the ending of Signs, how she basically gets past her threats at the end there, and I thought that unfortunately that was kind of a slap in the face of how good, and I say good. The first 70 minutes was good. I would have give it around an 8 out of 10, because Goodman's performance was so good, and the girl is good as well, but. I've seen this before. It's nothing new. And unfortunately, when I was watching Chris Stuckman, he was just all over her, how great she was. And I've seen this before. This is nothing new. She is the final girl. I mean, I don't think she did anything different than all these other final girls have ever done. But he's younger, and and I think because he thinks it's a smaller film, I think that he wants to. Pimp it up a little bit. Okay, I had to, the whole thing about the movie was at the very first 70 minutes of it looked real to me. I could see that the Goodman's character had kind of lost himself, but he was also, he did the right thing, so he had something to protect himself. We find out some things about him that is very nasty. He had done this before. He had abducted people before. So it's something he's done before. So we find out he is a monster, and that's what he's about. In the trailer and the poster, it talks about it. It talks about we don't know where the monster's coming from, or I don't know what the tagline was, but something along that. So he's the monster in the movie with them, but when she gets out, she finds more monsters. And the biggest problem I had of this movie was the last maybe 90 seconds of the movie. And again, as I said, I've been spoiling so much in here, but it became that she became like it's going to be Resident Evil at the end. She heard something on the IT radio saying that in Houston we're winning, and we need people to come here to fight the fight and all this stuff. So here she's at this side post, and it says she can go to some other place, or there's a Houston that go left. And this is what this whole thing is about, that she always was running away from things, but she's going to go now and fight. So they're setting up for a sequel, and I guess that we're going to have something similar in the reigns of Resident Evil. Now, there isn't no zombies in this movie, but there are some sort of monsters or little things that if they touch you, that it apparently does something to you, because there's a scene in the movie where there's a woman trying to get in there, and she's got like lesions all over her face. But also, we find out this big, huge alien ship is gassing people at night too. So maybe that's what that's from. Overall, I'm going to give this, if I was like doing on a Rotten Tomato, I'd give it a fresh rating. But out of a 1 to 10, I'd say 6.5, just because Goodman is so good. this didn't really need to have Cloverfield associated with it at all. It could have stayed on its own without that. And whatever, we could have changed the ending, and if she gets away from it, great, or whatever. If those who've seen the Room, it's similar to that. So, although there's no sexual thing going on in that. Well, I'll ask Mr. Kyle here. Did you like the movie? Did you like the movie? Kyle liked the movie, and I think he liked it because of the last 15 minutes. Because the movie basically is a bunch of talking, and Kyle likes action movies. But that's all we have for this week. I don't know. If it was me, I wouldn't go to the movie house. Although we saw it on a huge screen and didn't really need that. This is something you can watch at home on your TV. Go to Redbox. Some of the people that are comparing this to any of Hitchcock's movies is way over the top because it's not at that level. Goodman is, and I hope he gets some sort of nomination for it. He's good in the movie. Other than that, that's all we have. We'll be back later about box scenes, any reviews, any new movies that we get in, Blu-rays. We'll talk about it. But thank you for watching. You guys have a good day. Bye.